there's a cedar tree standing on my daddy's land. Roots run deeper than the sins of mortal man. I took a shovel out there on a cold December day, dug a hole and laid my old life away. I buried all the anger that I carried like a gun, the hate I held for everyone, including my own son. Put the gambling debts and empty lies down in that ground, covered them with Georgia clay and didn't make a sound. I buried my past beneath the cedar tree, where the roots run deep and the branches grow free. Left it all in the darkness, 6 feet below. Buried my past beneath the cedar tree. Now I'm letting go. The preacher said, son, confession cleanses the soul. But I needed more than words to make me whole. So I stood beneath those branches with my head bowed low, asked the Lord to let new mercy grow. That tree stands tall now, green against the sky, a monument to dying so a new man could survive. I buried my past beneath the cedar tree, and I ain't digging it back up again. Left those chains in the ground where they belong. Buried my past beneath the cedar tree. I'm finally moving on. Yeah, I buried my past beneath the cedar tree. Now I'm standing strong. Sometimes I go sit there in the shade when the sun beats down and thank the God above me for that sacred holy ground. I wore these chains for 20 years or more, dragged them through the darkness, dragged them across the floor, tried to break them with my anger, tried to drink them away. But every morning they were heavier than the day before. Told myself I'd beat him, swore I'd find the key. But pride's a prison warden and he wouldn't set me free. I fought until my knuckles bled, cursed until my voice was gone, still wrapped up in those chains I couldn't break alone. These chains I couldn't break alone were weighing down my soul. I pulled until my strength was gone, but they wouldn't let me go. These chains I couldn't break alone till I fell down at his throne. I finally stopped the fighting on a cold November night. Told the Lord I'm finished, I can't win this fight. He didn't need a hammer, didn't need no tools at all. Just touched them with his mercy and I felt them fall. I was a prisoner to my past, a slave to my mistakes. But he walked into my cell and the iron couldn't take. These chains I couldn't break alone, these shattered with his grace. Every link that held me down, he threw them all away. These chains I couldn't break alone, he broke them stone by stone. Thank God for chains I couldn't break alone. Now I'm finally home. If you're wearing chains tonight and you can't break free, stop fighting on your own, friend. Get down on your knees. There's dust on my Bible, been sitting for years. While I was out chasing whiskey and fears, the pages are yellow, the cover's worn thin, but not as worn out as this life I've been in. There's blood on my hands from the things that I've done, from the battles I lost and the wars never won. I've hurt the ones who love me, pushed away the light, spend my days in anger and my soul in the night. Dust on my Bible, blood on my hands. I'm standing in the middle of no man's land, between the man I was and the man I should be. Lord, have mercy on a sinner like me. I opened that book with trembling and shame, read about a man who could wash away pain. He didn't turn from the lepers, the thieves, or the lost. He carried their burden straight up to that cross. So I'm wiping off the dust now, with tears running down, getting down on my knees on this holy ground. I'll just hide my Bible, blood on my hands, but his blood runs deeper than mine ever can. He takes what is broken and makes it brand new. Dust on my Bible, but his word is still true. Yeah, blood on my hands, but his love's breaking through. I can't change what I've done, can't wash away the stain, but I'm reading every word now, learning to live again. I woke up this morning with the devil on my mind. Felt his cold breath linger from the choices left behind. There's blood beneath my fingernails, dust upon my soul. But somewhere in the darkness I heard the church bells toll. I've walked 1,000 miles on roads that lead to shame, carved my sins in stone and carved them in your name. The river runs with secrets that I threw into the deep, but every night they surface when I'm trying hard to sleep. God walks beside the broken man through the fire and the flood. He don't ask for perfection, just a heart that understands. God walks beside the broken man. I stood before the altar with my hat held in my hands, asked forgiveness for the things that no one understands. He didn't speak in thunder, didn't strike me with his rod, just a whisper in the wind saying, son, I am your God. The storm may shake the rafters, the night may steal my sight, but I ain't walking solo through this endless fight. God walks beside the broken man through the valley and the pain. He lifts us from the ashes, washes clean the stain. God walks beside the broken man. Yes, he walks beside the broken man. And when I reach that river, that final stretch of land, I know who'll be there waiting to take this broken man. I was lost in the bottom of a whiskey-soaked despair. The walls were closing in, there was poison in the air. I'd given up on living, made my peace with dying young, when I heard a voice like thunder speaking in my native tongue. It wasn't loud or angry, wasn't sharp or full of blame, just a whisper in the shadows, softly calling out my name. Said, son, I know you're hurting, know you think you're too far gone, but I've been here beside you all along. God's voice echoed in the dark like a lantern in the night, cut through all my sorrow, fill me up with light. God's voice echoed in the dark and it awakened my heart. I reached out in the darkness, though I couldn't see his face, but I felt his arms around me, felt his everlasting grace. Every lie the devil told me shattered with that sound. When God's voice echoed in the dark, I was finally found. In the deepest midnight hour, when you think you're all alone, listen close and you'll hear him calling you back home. God's voice echoed in the dark, breaking through my pain like a bell from heaven, calling out my name. God's voice echoed in the dark, gave me a brand new start. Yeah, God's voice echoed in the dark, and He mended my broken heart. Now when the darkness finds me and the silence gets too loud, I remember that He's speaking, even when I'm bowed. Storm rolled in like judgment on a Sunday afternoon. Black clouds and lightning tearing through the gloom. I was standing in the graveyard where my daddy's buried deep, when the thunder shook the heavens and brought me to my knees. The rain came down like bullets, cold and hard as steel, cut through all the armor I'd been hiding underneath. Every drop of reckoning for every wrong I'd done, but somewhere in that fury I heard them one by one. I heard angels in the iron rain, singing through the thunder and the pain. Their voices cut right through the storm, saying, "Child coming from the cold, come home." I heard angels in the iron rain. I raised my face up to the sky and let it wash me clean. Felt the years are running, finally leaving me. The wind was howling mercy, the lightning spelled His name, and I knew right then and there I'd never be the same. Some men find redemption in the quiet and the calm, mine came down like fury with those ancient holy songs. I heard angels in the iron rain, breaking every chain that held me bound. Their hallelujah shook the earth while heaven poured His blessings down. I heard angels in the iron rain, yeah, they sang until I was found. I heard angels in the iron rain. Now when the storms come rolling, I don't run and hide no more. I stand there in the downpour and I listen for the Lord. I was driving through the desert when the sun began to fall. Every mile marker reminded me of another devil's call. The broken bottles, the busted hearts, the promises I'd sold. They lined that highway like tombstones, telling stories left untold. I saw the face of every man I cheated for a dime, every woman that I hurt, every friend I left behind. They stood there in the twilight like ghosts upon the road, each one a reminder of the weight I've had to hold. I saw my sins along the highway, stretching out for miles. Every wrong turn that I'd taken, every bitter wasted trial. I saw my sins along the highway, and they nearly broke me down. Then I saw a figure standing at the very end, with nail-scarred hands extended like a long-lost friend. He said, I know what you've been carrying, know every single one, but I took them to the mountain, and the work is done. I pulled over to the shoulder, couldn't drive another mile, wept for all I'd done wrong, and he just smiled. I saw my sins along the highway, but they couldn't follow me. He picked them up and carried them to dark Calvary. I saw my sins along the highway, but they're buried in the ground. Yeah, I saw my sins along the highway, but His mercy turned me around. Now when I drive that road, I don't see them anymore. Just open sky and freedom, and His love forevermore. The shadows creeping closer now, I feel them at my door. They whisper all the reasons I ain't worth fighting for. My hands are shaking, heart is cold, I'm barely holding on. Lord, don't let the darkness take me before I see the dawn. I've walked through valleys deep as hell, climbed mountains made of pain, felt the devil's breath upon my neck time and time again. But tonight feels different, like I'm standing on the edge. Lord, don't let the darkness take me, hear the prayer I've said. Lord, don't let the darkness take me, I'm calling out your name. Send your angels down I've turned away before, but I'm begging for your mercy like I never have before. If there's any fight left in this weary, weathered soul, Lord, don't let the darkness take me. You're the only one who knows. I've seen men give up fighting, I've seen good men fall, but I ain't going quiet, I'm giving you my all. Lord, don't let the darkness take me, pull me from this pit, shine your holy light around me. I surrender, I submit. Lord, don't let the darkness take me, I'm yours until the end. Yeah, Lord, don't let the darkness take me. Be my strength, my shield, my friend. I'm holding to your promise that you'll never let me go. Even in the valley, you're the only light I know. I've been walking in the wilderness for far too long, trading truth for empty bottles and a sad old song. The lights are burning in my Father's house upon the hill, and my feet are finally turning toward His holy will. I left with pockets full of pride and plans to make my name. Now I'm coming back with nothing but my sin and shame. But I remember what it told me when I was just a boy. My door is always open, son, you'll always be my joy. Lord, I'm coming home tonight, down this long and dusty road. I've been wandering in the darkness, now I'm laying down my load. Lord, I'm coming home tonight, back into your light. I can see the porch light burning like a beacon in the black. Every step I take, I'm wondering if you'll take me back. But then I hear your voice calling through the evening air, saying, run to me, my child, I've been waiting here. No more running from your mercy, no more hiding from your grace. I'm done with all my wandering, I just want to see your face. Lord, I'm coming home tonight, I can see the open door. You're standing in the doorway like you've been there before. Lord, I'm coming home tonight, and I ain't leaving anymore. Yeah, Lord, I'm coming home tonight. My knees are hitting the floor. Thought I'd lost my way forever, thought I'd gone too far, but you left the light on for me. No matter where I was standing at the crossroads with the devil by my side. He was whispering sweet poison, telling me where to hide. The moon was cold and empty, my soul was wearing thin, when I heard that old church bell calling through my sin. I hadn't heard that sound in maybe 15 years, not since Mama passed and I dried up all my tears. But tonight it rang so clearly, cut right through the shame. Each toll was like the good Lord calling out my name. The church bell rang for me tonight, through the whiskey and the wrong. It rang for all my broken pieces. It rang to bring me home. The church bell rang for me tonight, and I heard salvation's song. I left the devil standing there alone upon that road, followed that bell's echo till I reached the house of God. The door was cracked open, a light was burning low, and I walked into that sanctuary, let the tears finally flow. Some folks hear him in the thunder, some in morning birds that sing, but I heard my Father calling in that old bell's ring. The church bell rang for me tonight, when I thought I was too lost. It rang through all my darkness, rang like nails upon that cross. The church bell rang for me tonight, made everything feel right. Yeah, the church bell rang for me tonight, and I stepped into the light. Now every time I hear it ringing through the air, I remember he was looking when I thought nobody cared. The church bell rang for me tonight, when everything's through light. Yeah, the church bell rang for me tonight, and I stepped into the light. Now every time I hear it ringing through the air, I remember he was looking when I thought nobody cared. I climbed 1,000 mountains, trying to outrun my shame. Searched for peace in bottle after bottle, but it never came. My legs were tired and broken, couldn't take another step, when I saw that rugged cross standing on the hill ahead. I fell down on the pathway, couldn't make it on my own. Every sin I ever carried had me chained down to the bone. But something pulled me forward through the dust and through the pain. The cross was waiting on that hill to break my every chain. The cross was waiting on that hill for a sinner just like me, where mercy meets the broken and the guilty are set free. The cross was waiting on that hill, and it's where I'm meant to be. I crawled the final distance with my face against the ground, reached up and touched that wooden beam and heard that holy sound of angels singing, welcome home, your debt has all been paid. The cross was waiting on that hill for every mistake I've made. 2,000 years of standing, calling wanderers back home, saying lay your burdens down here, you don't have to walk alone. The cross was waiting on that hill when I had nowhere left to turn. It took my sin and sorrow, gave me grace I didn't earn. The cross was waiting on that hill, through the thunder and the still. Yeah, the cross was waiting on that hill, and it's waiting for you still. If you're climbing up that mountain with a weight you cannot bear, look up toward the hilltop, the cross is waiting there. I dug a grave out by the railroad track, 6 feet deep where there ain't no coming back, and laid to rest the man I used to be, the one who lived in chains and called it free. I buried all the bottles and the broken promises, the angry words I said and all the nights I missed. Threw dirt upon the lies I told myself at dawn, stood there in the silence till the old me was gone. The man I buried yesterday won't haunt me anymore. I left him in the ground where he belonged before. The man I buried yesterday ain't the man I am today. The preacher says, son, dying ain't the hardest part. It's learning how to live with a brand new heart. Now every morning when I rise up from my bed, I thank the Lord above I left that old man dead. Sometimes I hear him calling from underneath the clay, wants me to dig him up again, but I just walk away. Yesterday is sleeping 6 feet down. I'm walking in the daylight on this redemption ground. The man I buried yesterday's gone and gone to stay. Hey, thank God I buried yesterday. if you see me walking with my head held high, know that I'm still standing, 'cause that old man had to die. I was running from my demons down a lonesome road, carrying a lifetime's worth of heavy load. My feet were tired and bleeding, my heart was cold as stone, when I stumbled to that river, broken and alone. The water ran like silver in the fading light. I fell down on the banks there in the dead of night, cried out to heaven, though I had no right to pray. Said, if you're really listening, wash my sins away. At the river where I met the Lord, I laid my burdens down. The current took my sorrow, and I felt His love around. At the river where I met the Lord, I was finally found. I walked into that water up above my knees, felt something break inside me, brought me to my pleas. When I came up from under, I was born again. The man who went down in that river wasn't the one who came back then. Some folks need a church house, some need stained glass windows tall, but I found my salvation where the water falls. At the river where I met the Lord, my chains fell to the ground. I heard the angels singing, sweetest, purest sound. At the river where I met the Lord, grace came pouring down. Yeah, at the river where I met the Lord, this lost soul was found. Now when the weight gets heavy and the darkness closes in, I go back to that river and I'm washed clean again. I started walking when the sun went down. Left behind a broken, sinful town. The preacher said redemption's just a prayer away, but he never walked the miles I'm walking here today. My boots are worn clear through to the bone. Every step reminds me how far I am from home. The signposts all are faded, the path is hard to see, but I keep putting one foot forward, praying he'll find me. The road back to heaven is long, and I've got blood upon my feet, but I ain't turning around now, won't accept defeat. The road back to heaven is long, but I'm gonna keep walking on. I met a man at crossroads who said, turn back, it's too far. But I've seen too much darkness to be satisfied with where we are. I told him, friend, I'd rather die trying to reach that gate than spend another minute living with this weight. Every sinner's got a journey, every soul's got miles to go, but the Lord needs us walking, that's the one thing that I know. The road back to heaven is long, but His mercy's longer still. I can feel Him walking with me up this lonesome hill. The road back to heaven is long, but I hear the angel's song. Yeah, the road back to heaven is long, but that's right where I belong. So if you see me walking with my head bowed low, I ain't giving up on glory, I'm just taking it slow. It was 3 in the morning when I heard that sound, like gravel and thunder shaking holy ground. I knew who was calling before I turned the key, 'cause I'd been running from him since I was 17. He wore a crooked smile and a suit of black. Said, boy, I've come collecting on our old contract. I told him I was different, told him I'd change my ways. He laughed and said, I've heard that song for 40 days. When the devil knocked on my door, I had nowhere left to hide. All the lies I told myself came crashing down inside. when the devil knocked on my door. I fell down on my knees right there upon the floor, called out to Jesus like I never had before. The devil kept on grinning, said he ain't listening, son. But then I felt a hand on my shoulder, warm as the rising sun. There's a battle in the darkness between the light and shame. One voice says you're finished, one voice calls your name. When the devil knocked on my door, I wasn't standing there alone. The Lord was in that doorway, saying this one's coming home. When the devil knocked on my door, yeah, he knocked but couldn't stay. 'Cause when the devil knocked on my door, Jesus sent him on his way. Now I keep that door locked with prayers and with his word, 'cause I know he'll come knocking, but I know who I serve.